Hi, everybody. This is me, Mary, once again. I made a video earlier, but I couldn't hear the sound on it, and so I'm trying to speak louder to make sure that the sound comes through. I don't know. I probably did something wrong. But this is just a something like a continuation of what I talked about last week. Hold on a minute. Let me pull this a little bit closer to me. What I talked about last week, and we were talking about the voice, getting in touch with your voice, your inner self, and we can, you know, throw the voice away, and but when we do, we throw it away. That means we're too busy doing what we want to do or occupied. We're too occupied. But I think we should. At least I know what I should do. I should slow down and stop thinking so much. I made just a point in my life to find a place, a sacred place. You know, in Psalms 91, it said, "He that dwelleth in the secret place of the Most High shall abide under the shadow of the Almighty." I do find me a sacred place, and a lot of time it is the bathroom, kind of like going through the throne. But I sit there in the middle of the night, 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning, and that's when I'm quiet, my quiet time. And I can reflect of what has happened the following day. I mean, the previous day. So you can kind of practice on that, just relaxing and going to the throne and not bringing mishaps or things that made you angry. And sometimes you can't do nothing but bring it to the toilet because you can't let it go. But make sure when you get up off the toilet, you through with that, because it'll keep you up the rest of the night. But I find myself doing a lot of things that I shouldn't do, and it keeps me, busy and worried, and I'm here. I am 71 years old, and just figuring out what I should do about my worries. And like I said last week, my biggest problem is my mind keep asking the same old question: what if? What if? And then finish the rest of the sentence. What if they don't come? What if they do this? And what if? So I spent a lot of time saying that stuff. What if? But I don't know. Sometimes what if is good for you because you can get the right answer if you slow down to say what if. But I guess you have to just think about good things after the what if, because if you keep saying what if, you won't take the next step. Your foot is glued like cement to the concrete. You can't move any further. But I have some things that I'm dealing with, and not bad things, but I'm learning to appreciate and deal with and not worry. And like I said, the book that I wrote, Cleaning Closets, man, that was a page turner in my life. And I wanted to talk to y'all about this book, A Tale of Two Trees. I wrote this book a long time ago. Let me see. I can look on the inside and tell you when I wrote it. But God, I just went and reread it. Let me see. When was it? When was it? It should be in here somewhere. I don't even see the date of it. A Tale of Two Trees, copyright. I don't even see the date it was copyrighted. But A Tale of Two Trees, the story of life and death. Let me see if I have time. Well, time is, we all have time. Let me see, introduction. Okay, I'm going to read a little bit of this. It says, introduction, the troll under the bridge. See if you can see that. The troll under the bridge. For as a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. Eat and drink, saith he to thee, but his heart is not with thee. Proverbs 23rd chapter and the 7th verse, the New King James Version. What a twist on the story of Adam and Eve in the Bible. The story in the prologue goes out on a limb. No pun intended, but that's what writers do when they write about trees. And I'm reading the introduction. I'm not reading the prologue, but the introduction. This book is not intended to offend anyone who believes the Bible is the absolute word of one and only God. It's very exhilarating for me to create fables, and even more so for someone to read and enjoy them. To be shown where a pitfall is, and the pitfall doesn't look like a pitfall, seems like a cruel trick. If I had written the original story, the tree of knowledge would have had thorns and thistles on it. The fruit would have looked like crab apples, and it would have smelled bad too. Instead, the Bible states that the tree was good for food and was pleasing to the eye. The villain in this story is curiosity. Regardless of what the tree looked like, somewhere down the bloodline, someone would have doubt and disobeyed God's commandment and ate the fruit. The question that haunts my mind is why we didn't eat the tree of life first. Maybe it was a tree that wasn't pleasant to the eye, or perhaps it smelled bad. The answers could be many, and if I tried to answer them, it would be like trying to reason with a troll under the bridge in another fairy tale, The Three Billy Goats Gruff. We all can be happy when the troll, who represent doubt, fear, and death, no longer exists. We can outwit the troll, just as the three Billy Goats did, by making up another story or mending the one that's written. But we may ask, how can we outwit death? There are many fables about how a victim outwitted death, but those remedies are not practical for us in the real world. The resolution of death being the end will only change if we change our minds about death. We just have to rewrite the story about life. Life is eternal. Many religions teach that there is life after death. Some teach that after death, there is a judgment by God. The religious will live happily ever after in heaven, and the wicked will burn forever in the hot hell fire. Either way, they believe that they will live again in heaven or hell. My intention in writing this book is to raise the consciousness of the reader as to how much fable can impact our lives and how they encourage the outcome in a perilous situation. I also want to replace the thought of death with the words, there is no death. Death is only real to the ones who are left behind to mourn the dead. Death is only the opposite of birth, and with another fable I want to write about life continuing in another form. I love fables. Those of you who have read the first book in this series, Nobody's Here But Us, can attest to this, and hopefully will enjoy this book also. Since the beginning of time, man has always feared death, and he has always been taught to fear his God, making his world surrounded by fear. Someone says there are only two emotions, love and fear. The two are totally different and will never walk hand in hand. When a person finally meets his God and worships him out of love rather than fear, obedience follows rather than sacrifice. Fear breeds anger, sacrifice, hate, and resentment. Love breeds peace, wisdom, a sound mind, and understanding. Love is an unlimited expression, and so is fear. Have an open mind and enjoy this adventure. So this is the book. I got to, I think it was 2015 when I read this book. But I just picked it up. I don't know. Sometimes just I said, let me see what this book is about. Because I was just writing books, just writing. And I played it on the where they read it to you, the audio voice. And man, I just said, who helped me write this book? Or how could I come up with all these characters and the way the story opened and closed and moved on, the way the story moved? It was just something. And I want you guys to go out and I know I already got a book out there, but buy all my books. But this one, A Tale of Two Trees. And if you open it, the front and back cover, you can see the two trees. But I'm really impressed with this book. Now this one, Nobody's Here. I'm going to work on another cover because I'm not happy with this cover. But I was just writing books and didn't know anything about Fiverr and how they could help you with your book cover. So that's what I'm going to do, is see if Fiverr can make me another book cover. Nobody's Here But Us. I'm thinking about having the cover. See, the title is Nobody's Here But Us, Looking for God in All the Wrong Places. I'm going to have it where it's a lot of people looking. I mean, they may be on the floor looking, or maybe it'd be a lot of people just looking up. I'll talk with my representative from Fiverr, and they usually get what I want if I make it clear to them. But anyway, guys, I hope this video can be heard, because I wasn't talking about much in the video that I had to delete, because I'm trying to think what I left out. I was talking about Harold a little bit and how we have so much fun and how thankful I am to be able to live this part of his life and my life. And I just hope I can remember. But, dementia and whatever, Alzheimer, all that is a weird place to be. Now, Harold doesn't remember things that just recently happened. He can't remember what happened yesterday. Sometimes he can't remember things that happened 30 minutes afterwards. But he can remember things in the past like it's nobody's business. And we do play a lot of games. It's just something to kill the time. And I think he remembers that because he reminds me of it. So what is that? He reminds me of stuff, because sometimes I can say some things. I'm always kind of like in a teaching mode, and I'll explain stuff to him. And I said I was going to stop doing that because it is, people can be offended. And so I'm going to stop doing that. But when I tell him something, he got this smart aleck attitude. He sung something I hadn't heard in ages. I was telling him something about somebody on TV and what happened to them in their life. And he started saying, Jimmy crack corn and I don't care. I said, ooh, he trying to tell me he don't give a damn. And then after he sung that, he says, frankly, my dear, I don't give a damn. So I said, ooh, that kind of stung a little bit. So those little games that we play, I love doing that, because somehow or another, I believe that it's tapping into some portion of his memory. So he knows when to sing those songs, Jimmy Crack Corn, I don't care. It's like talk to somebody or talk to the hand, because I ain't hearing that. So it's a learning lesson. The thing about learning lesson is you got to remember. I don't care how much you study, when the test come, if you don't remember, it's all in vain. So he'd always tell me, and he still says that now. He said, Mary, remember not to forget. So it's just that's a sweet road I'm on right now. We both are, and I can relax sometimes, and sometimes he could do some things, and I have to remember. That's the thing. Remember, I have to remember why he's doing that, and not get frustrated. So they saying they could give me medicine. You know how you sometimes caregivers have to have respite and stuff because this stuff will really get to you. But I have to remember his condition, and because when he's not around me, when somebody come take him away, and his family come take him somewhere, the whole time he's gone, I'm saying, "Oh, I hope he's okay," and I'm thinking about him. I said, "But God, Mary, you have to do better than this because my doctor wants me to get some counseling as to what I'm going through right now, and I just have to make time to do it." Sometimes you just say, "Well," I talk to my boy. I said, "Layla, can't you just make me be okay?" And Layla says, "I told you you were okay." So I said, "Oh, okay, I got to remember not to forget." But anyway, I'm trying to think how long. Oh, 16 minutes. But something I was going to tell y'all about remembering what the voices said. That's the key thing, because if you don't remember, you won't even know if you were saved from danger or what happened. If something said, "You better watch out for that girl because she's a big thief, she's a liar," whatever. I've had messages like that, and I didn't pay attention to it. And I guess because I just couldn't believe that family members could do stuff like that. And I just threw it away. I threw it away so quick so it wouldn't infiltrate my mind. But now that I look back and say, God, dog, I didn't miss it. I just threw it away. So, sometimes you go to the grocery store and you just throwing everything away. You need to keep that receipt because you don't know what you're going to have to return. And these little messages that your inner voice give you, they are going to be receipts. It's going to be proof that this did happen. And you don't have to explain to nobody else. This is for yourself and for you to beware of people that's in your circle. And this is really protection for yourself. So I don't want to get all hyped up and get talking crazy. But anyway, I'm just going to cut off and cross my fingers and hope this video got sound to it. Anyway, I'll see you guys next week. Bye-bye.